Oh, hi. Can I buy an ice cream? Sure. What flavor would you like? I'll take chocolate. Thank you. Oh, hello. Welcome to Hagandazs Ice Cream Parlor. Would you like an ice cream? Sure. What flavor would you like? I'll have birthday cake flavor. Thank you. Hi, guys. So you can see what I'm doing with my Labor Day weekend. I'm inside staying out of that hot air and that smoky air from the shaver fire, and I'm playing with my Legos. So welcome to Place Value Review. I will be posting 2 videos on teams. One is called Place Value Part 1, and that will help you understand some of the concepts that we learned in class last week. So I will be referring to our math journal where we took notes on the concept of place value. Then I will be posting a second video on Teams called Place Value Part 2. Part 2 will help you understand lesson 1.1, where we learned about multiplying times 10 and dividing by 10. And that is where a lot of students got a little bit confused. So the point of these videos is to review information that we learned and to maybe teach you information that you may have missed in class. So once these videos are on Teams, you can watch them at any time. You can press pause and try some of the problems. You can rewind and watch the video again. You can fast forward so you don't have to listen to this introduction, and you can tailor the video to your needs. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about in Place Value Part 1 is the idea that we learned this week. We have a lot of numbers in math. In fact, we have so many numbers that our number system is infinite. That's right, it goes on and on forever. So mathematicians, ancient mathematicians, needed some way to categorize numbers, to help explain numbers, to help bring numbers into a small chart so that we could understand them a little bit better. So ancient mathematicians came up with the idea of a place value chart. Okay, so the place value chart is based on the number 10. The number 10. So I want you to think for a moment. Why do you think that ancient mathematicians chose the number 10 to build our place value system? Let me think. Why the number 10? Ms. Hagen is always talking about the number 10. Why? Oh, because we have 10 fingers. Yes, the number 10 in the place value system is based on the fact that we have 10 fingers. Ancient mathematicians did not have pencils to write with. They did not have expo markers. They did not have cool manipulatives. But what they did have was their fingers. And their fingers helped them put numbers into groups of 10. So if I counted on my fingers to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I can take this group of 10 and put it into one group. So now one finger stands for 10 fingers. And that's how mathematicians introduced the place value system. So why else might we use the place value system? So think of that word value. Think of that word value. What does value mean? Okay, so let's look back in our math notebook. On the first time we started taking notes in our math notebook, we learned the idea of place value. Although this is not a new idea for you, you have been learning the idea of place value for many years in school. So place value is the idea of the value of a number, how much a number is worth. What is the amount of a number? Okay, what is the worth? What is the amount? So if you think back in time, why might we need the place value system if we're dealing with the value of something, such as the value of money? Well, one good example I like to share is an example of the Native Americans. So back before we had paper money, the Native Americans did share something of value to them, but it was not paper money. It was seashells and beads. So Native Americans would trade with explorers. This is a photo from the 1600s. They would trade seashells and beads that you can see in this illustration here. And these seashells were of value to Native Americans. Okay, so even within tribe to tribe, they would trade seashells. So they had to have a way of keeping track of these seashells. For example, if one seashell was equal to the value of $1, then what if a Native American had 10 seashells? Now, a Native American could carry 10 seashells in their sachets, or perhaps they carried them in a necklace around their neck, but seashells are fragile. They are breakable. And if you broke a seashell, it could maybe decrease the value. So what the Native Americans could do is they could group the seashells into a group of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and replace those 10 seashells with one large seashell. Excuse me. Susie sold seashells by the seashore. Say that 5 times. So they could exchange the 10 seashells for one large seashell, and that could help them with carrying around their money. Okay, we also have this idea today in American currency. Something that is of value in the United States to Americans, actually something that's of value all over the world, is something called money. Now, this is a $1 bill. So on my place value chart, where would this fall? So let's pull up my place value chart. Where would this $1 fall? Well, it would fall in the ones column because it has the value of the number 1. Okay, but what happens if I have 10 of these $1 bills? Similar to the Native Americans, instead of stacking up my 10 $1 bills and carrying them around, I could trade them in for a single 10. So my 10 $1 would have the same value as one $10 bill. Interesting. What happens if I have 10 of these $10 bills? Then I would have a $100 bill, which I do not have. Mrs. Hagan does not have at home. What happens if I had 10 $100 bills? Then I would have $1,000. That sounds nice right about now. What if I had 10 $1,000 bills? I don't even know if they make a $1,000 bill. Someone has to Google search that for me. I know I've never owned one. If I had 10 $1,000 bills, that would give me $10,000. What would I do with $10,000? I'd probably go out and buy a whole bunch of Legos. So in my next video, I will be using these Legos to help explain place value. I will also be using our manipulatives, these little guys that we see in school that help us understand place value. When you come to the next video, to part 2, I would like you to please bring your Go Math book, because we're going to review some of the ideas that we looked in school. On page 5 in your Go Math book, you will see an example of a cube, a flat, a long, and a small cube. I have examples of all of those ideas that I'm going to be showing you in the next video. So please return for part 2. You're also going to learn in the second video the idea of how our number system increases 10 times and decreases 10 times. And this is where I had a lot of students say, Mrs. Hagan, you lost me. So remember, what we talked about last week was, as a number gets bigger, as the number 1 gets bigger, as the number 1 increases, it increases 10 times. But the same thing happens as numbers get smaller. As a number gets smaller, it decreases by 10. And that is what I will be proving to you guys with these math manipulatives in the next video. So thanks for watching, you guys. A little side thing I would like to share is that a sock, a sock could be used as an eraser for whiteboards. I know that you all don't have whiteboards right now, but just in case you have one at home, a sock is a good way to erase your work. Again, if you guys ever have questions about math, please reach out to me. Email me, Mrs. Hagan, I don't understand. Mrs. Hagan, I need help. And I can help you on your math, okay? So we will see you guys in Place Value Part 2 video. Until then, have a wonderful day. Bye, ice cream cones.